Keefa is back. So y'all know it must be Tuesday. It's Tuesday. Yes, 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 yes.
So I have already claimed it. The show was going to be fire. Let me tell you why. But before I do, let's do some housekeeping so I make sure you guys get everything that you came for. All right, so you're listening. First thing, make sure you download that app. 101 TKO Radio. You can check in with us anytime. We're streaming live on YouTube. You can chime in, add to the conversation. And as I always say, tell me if I'm lying when I drop these facts. Okay, some people don't like facts. They just like feelings. But I like to bring the facts. We'll talk about feelings later. 101 TKO Radio, we knock it out the box always and always. I am your host, Keefa, Coach Keefa, known as the fitness thug, the savage one, AI savage, whatever. Those are the people, I'm going to say the people that's cool with me, but the other folks, we won't talk about them. All right, so let's get to it on this Tuesday. Listen, y'all, I have some things I want to talk about, and you're probably thinking this is funny. Okay, it ain't funny today. It ain't funny. You know, every time I say funny, I think of fanny pack. Oh, see, there you go. There go a business, y'all. Who gonna invent the fanny pack? Because, see, I rocks a fanny pack. Okay, y'all see me at the club with a dope, you-know-what fanny pack on. Just to keep my hands free, because you never know when something is going to go down. You got to be ready for anything savage to pop off. But have you heard about the largest drug bust in Georgia? I'm talking about the biggest 420 drug bust. The cannabis, the marijuana, the weed, the hemps, the whatever you want to call it. The biggest drug bust in Georgia. Now, this is South Georgia. Let me tell you why I'm even talking about this. Because we are talking, when I say large, we talking about 11,000 plus plants. Now, I want you to just imagine you a fly on the wall in this growing facility. Okay, better yet, if you are a fly on the wall, you ain't going to be on the wall because you're going to be laid out from all of them fumes and all of them good smells. You're going to be laid out on the floor with everybody else. Imagine the facility size. Imagine walking into a warehouse. Okay, this thing has to be hidden. I'm fascinated with it because what they're saying is that this operation has been running strong since at least 2022. So let's say for 2 years, a facility, think about this, y'all. Some people, number one, they had to have the finances to build a facility large enough to house all these plants. Okay? Housing the plants is just one thing. Now, keep in mind, we're talking 11,000 plus plants. And all of y'all backyard growers, y'all know what I'm talking about. You know what a plant look like when it's popping. And you know what a plant look like when it ain't popping. So imagine the backyard growers to the 10th power, to the 10th degree. Okay? People who know what they're doing, who are trained down to a science to produce plants that it's like a franchise, y'all. You got to be able to predict. We're talking about data modeling. Okay? I'll tell you later how artificial intelligence can be used to enhance all of this operation. Oh, this is deep today, y'all. So imagine 11,000 plus plants. So there's people, they need the finances to build this location. They need the finances to bring the plants, whether they're starting from seed or whatever, to bring the plants. And then on top of that, oh my God, all of the nutrients to get those joints to grow and thrive. So imagine how this has gone under the radar for even 2 years, to the point to where it is estimated that these 11,000 plus plants are worth over $22 million. Now, this is what's crazy. Over $22 million. Most people don't know what $1 million look like. Do you know what it feel like? Now imagine 11 plus thousand plants. Tell me this, y'all. If you accidentally walked into a warehouse, let's say you looking to pick up some furniture. Y'all know I love telling a good story. Imagine you done just ordered you a nice leather sofa. You can't wait to take it home. You drive to the warehouse. You tell them you want to pick it up because you don't want to pay a $250 delivery fee. So you're somewhere over off Moreland Avenue where all of those truck stops, well, they're not really truck stops, but these warehouses. Okay, imagine you somewhere over there going to pick up your furniture and you accidentally stumble into a warehouse that you don't see the plants, but you smell them. You know it's something popping off. Because, see, we ain't dumb. We know what we smelling. And we know the difference between a real dead skunk and a skunk. Okay, the professionals know the difference in those pheromones, in those smells, in those delights to the nostrils. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Can I keep it real? Because this show is for adults. This show is for adults. However, back to the story. You accidentally stumble into an operation, 11,000 plus plants. You don't see them, but you know something is popping off. Immediately, your spidey senses turn up, and you start looking around to see where's the people at. But I'm going to tell y'all something. Now, suppose when you stumble in that warehouse, you don't know this, but it is nobody there. You want to know why? Because everything is controlled automatically through artificial intelligence, down from the lighting, down to automatically feeding these plants the right nutrients at the right time in the right proportion. You don't need a person to do that. You don't. So there's nobody in there. Of course, there's cameras, but just imagine with me. You get to walk through this warehouse uninterrupted. Imagine the different varieties of plants. So you walking through the warehouse, you get to sniff on them, you get to touch them. Just pretend like nobody is watching. I just want to know, are you going to lose your mind? Are we going to have to send Life Alert to come looking for you because when your family do a welfare check because you never showed up to work, are we going to find you laid out in the warehouse? This is what I want to know. See, with the vivid imagination, why do I tell y'all these stories? Because having a vivid imagination allows you access to parts of your brain that you normally are not training. Why is that important? Well, y'all know I love fitness and all things fitness. So here's the thing. If you don't train your booty, but you train your biceps, what's going to be popping and what's not? Okay, the biceps will be popping and the booty will be pooping. That's how that goes. Biceps popping, booty pooping. You got to work the booty as well. So I want you to unlock these parts of your brain that's going to allow you access to make more money. So you can see things that aren't typically on your radar. So this is the thing. If you in this warehouse, you have free range, what are you going to do? Well, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. See, I'm going to be sniffing around to find out how this is controlled. How are they doing this? Where's the equipment? Where is the data being pulled from? How are they regulating the temperature? Is there a robot in the house? Is there a robot in the house? Yeah, you didn't think about that. But see, these are the things that I think about. I want to know, where is the automation? How are they automating it? Because even in regular gardening, When you feed your plants consistently, they do what? They thrive. You make sure that they don't get invaded by pests. You feed them consistently. You love on them. You take care of them. This is all plants. Surprisingly, just like people. Surprisingly, just like pets. See, everything that has breath, that has life, thrives when it's nurtured. I hope y'all get that. Everything that is living thrives when it is nurtured. So yeah, how did I get all of this? It came to mind because I was listening to the news about the drug bust. And my ears, I've trained them to listen differently. Okay, we listening to figure out how to make money. We listening to figure out what's the technology it took to make this happen. And we're also listening to who is leading the charge. And this is what I want y'all to know. It is said that this whole 420 drug busting operation was run by Chinese nationals. Drop the mic on that, y'all. Okay, Chinese nationals. So not only did they come to Georgia, set up shop to the tune of $22 million value, $22+ million value, not only did they do that, I bet you we ain't in the picture. But that's not what I wanted to point out. See, if you look at Asian culture, they can go to any country and set up the popular business for that country. Okay? Why is that? They're not guessing. They're using data. Do you think it's an accident that we have all the beauty supply places over here? No. It is data that shows if we put a beauty supply store here, there, and there, then we're going to make X amount of money. Okay, so this cannabis business is no different. Somebody decided, listen, Georgia is brand spanking new to legalizing marijuana. When is the time to get in on something, y'all? I've been saying this with artificial intelligence. When is the time to start adapting new technologies? Most of the time when it's new. Yeah, most of the time when it's new, because number one, when you start adapting it when it's new, the learning curve is not going to be so hefty for you. That's number one. Number two, the cost is not going to be so out of budget for you. The reason for that is, number one, when you adopt early, you're learning as the creators are learning. And oftentimes, you're going to benefit financially by getting a discount on what you're learning because they're also learning. Number three, having the gumption, the gonads, the testicular fortitude, the savagery, the unf-withable nature to take this venture. I point all of this out because when I heard the story and when I tell y'all, it really was probably a 10-second clip I heard. And immediately my mind went to what artificial intelligence is making it possible for them to grow 11,000 plus plants. Because imagine the manpower that would be needed. 11,000 plus plants. I'm actually going to guess that, and I don't know if it was indoors or outdoors, but I'm going to guess that in South Georgia is probably a combination of outdoor, mostly indoors, but a combination of some outdoors, moving the plants outdoors. But actually, no, I'm going to retract that. And I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to retract that statement, and I'm going to tell you why. Because Georgia, for a minute, I forgot. I ain't in Cali. The weather is not conducive to growing outdoors. Neither is all of the wildlife and the pests and all of that. So this had to be an indoor operation. See, I love when I'm talking things. I'm talking to y'all, but at the same time, you know, I always say as I'm talking to y'all, I'm talking to myself. So I'm going to tell you why I think so when we come back. You listening to Savage Talk with Keefa, 101 TKO Radio. Don't go nowhere. We coming right back after the break. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up, y'all? Savage Talk is back. Thank y'all for sticking around after the break. So let me get right to it. Look, this is what I said. I want you guys to imagine the space, the real estate, the footprint needed for that operation. And why is that important? Because real estate is valuable. So I don't know if they own the land or they were leasing or renting the land from someone. But 11,000 plus plants, all grown indoors. So before the break, I was saying partially outdoors, but no, Georgia, I don't even think it's possible. Because the operation, to get to 11,000 plus plants, you need to be growing 24/7. 7 days a week, 365. Okay, with automated lights, all of that stuff. So imagine the electricity bill. Imagine what they're paying. I just want you guys to get an overall sense of the cost of this business. Now, I've been saying operation, but don't get it twisted. It is a business. Now, it doesn't mean the business is legal. Look at Donald Trump. All his businesses are not legal. He plays around with the tax laws to insinuate and imply legality. And see, look, folks, when you have money and you have lawyers and accountants and CPAs that actually are on the payroll and have the know-how, you can ride that line of ambiguity. Okay? I know I said that wrong, but y'all know what I mean. It's an ambiguous laws. So you can weave in and out. So the building to house 11,000 plus plants is got to be over. It's got to be over probably about 50,000 square feet. I want you to imagine those of y'all who go to places like, I almost said it on the air. Planet Fitness. Y'all know what I call it. Planet Fitness or LA Fitness. So those gyms, LA Fitness is roughly about 30,000 square feet. Now, if you're adding basketball courts, all of that, and upstairs, if there's upstairs and you was to make it all flat on one level, we talking about 50,000 plus square feet. Okay, not as big as an Amazon building by far, but a huge, huge footprint. So then imagine the electricity bill every 30 days. So this, you guys, this type of operation is bigger than one person or two people or 10 people on site in the warehouse growing the plants. See, you have to have people outside of the footprint that is on top of paying the electricity bill so you don't get flagged, right? You have to have people on top of the operation getting all the nutrients because it's going to take thousands and thousands of dollars of nutrients every month. So what I'm saying is these people came with the dineros. They came with the coins. They came with the paper. They came with the pesos. They came with the yens. They came with all of those other forms of coins. Okay? So $22+ million value. Now, this is what I want to see because you got to know that the Chinese nationals that were running this operation ain't the only ones behind it. They're connected. They're connected somewhere else because, number one, Georgia is very new to legalizing 420. And in most cases, it's just the oil. Okay. Praise the Lord. Thank you. Thank you. Because, listen, I keep saying this show is for grown people. Okay? It's for grown people who don't pretend. I'm from Cali. So let me welcome y'all. Let me show you around. That's my job. Okay, I'm on the welcome committee. So I'm going to show you how to best make use of your membership. Now, here's the thing. Back to my point, Georgia is very new to this. So they had all the data prior to coming here, is what I'm trying to tell y'all. They had all of the data prior to coming here. When is the best time to hop on board the train that's moving? In the beginning. Remember I said I like to be an early adapter on most things? I understand that technology won't be perfect. I understand that all the answers are not already figured out. But for me, the value of being an early adopter, 99% of the time, is greater than not. Because I know I'm a smart person. I don't need them to have all the answers if I decide to support whatever it is. Because I'm smart enough to figure a lot of it out on my own, at least enough to know if it's going to be of value to me and my business and what I do. Some of y'all just start doing stuff and say you got a business because you know, for whatever reason, and you're not really solving a problem or filling a need. These Chinese nationals, they had the data. They knew they were filling a need. Why? Because Georgia is very new to legalizing 420. So what does that mean? When you're new, it's hard to get. So they were filling a need. Okay? They're not growing 11,000 plus plants and people don't need it and people ain't buying it. For real, it's a need. And the truth is, most people in Georgia that's getting 420, they don't know who the real plug is. They just know who they getting it from. That's how deep it goes, y'all. Because the person you think is the plug, they don't have this 11,000 plus plants in their backyard. So that's what I want y'all to see. This operation is massive. And I want to see who is behind it. Okay, y'all remember that movie, Usual Suspects? Who is Kaiser Soze? Y'all remember that movie? The Usual Suspects ain't never the usual suspects, y'all. Chinese nationals. That's why this is deep to me. Man, not only is it deep, this is exciting because you can't make this stuff up. This is stuff where they make movies about. Really, they make movies about this stuff. Chinese nationals. Now, let's see who Kaiser Soze is when they actually do all of the investigations. And, oh, God, please, please don't let some of these Georgia investigators mess this case up. Okay, but I tell you what. If you was, listen, I want y'all to answer this question. If you was the first investigator on the scene in the warehouse, at all the cameras, so here's what happened. The people get tipped off that it's a raid about to come. You the first one on the scene. You see all these plants. Okay, not only that, you see new plants that's babies. You find a drying room. Y'all know what a drying room is. You find a drying room. You see all the stuff that's ready. You see the stuff that says in 1 week. It's all neatly processed. What you gonna do? You got 30 minutes before anybody else get there. What you gonna do? You gonna stand there and wait 30 minutes? Or you gonna maybe, put a little in your pocket, just, medicinal, ain't illegal, whatever. What you gonna do? Lord have mercy. You don't have to answer that live. You can whisper it to me when you see me in person, because I tell you what I do, but I'm whispering to you. And I promise to God, if it ever get out, I'm going to deny we ever had the conversation. I don't even know you. Who said what? They did who? When was this? Oh, I don't even, who? Y'all know how that goes. So that is what I want you all to get from the story. Most stories, you can put yourself in it and figure out what are the winning things you need to take away. What are the winning takeaways? That is how my ears are trained to listen to news stories. Where are the opportunities for partnerships, for collaborations? It's early on. I've already said Georgia is still new to approving and adopting cannabis. So right now, it's kind of like the Wild Wild West. So I want you guys, y'all, you keep looking out for more details on that story, okay? But next up, y'all, I got two things I want to talk about, okay? Number one, I can't even think which one is more important. They are both important. Which one's the most fun? Which one can I rap about? Which one can I have shenanigans about? And which one can I tell y'all stories about? So Google's Gemini. If you hear me say on the radio Google, it's because it's too hard to pronounce L's and keep it moving. So Google. Just Google. Google it. Google. So Google's Gemini. Gemini is their version of a chatbot that generates pictures. But here's the problem. A lot of folks in the tech world have said it is too woke. Now, what do you mean by that, Keefa? Let me tell you. Y'all know what woke means. Typically, woke means a non-person that is black or brown having a deeper understanding of race in the country of the USA. That's what it is. It means a non-black or brown person having a deeper understanding of race relations and how it affects black and brown people. And as a result of that deeper understanding, they can make better decisions that shy away from racism, okay? And they can be supporters of the black and brown communities. So that's what being woke means. Now, how is it that a chatbot can be woke? Well, you guys know the CEO of Google is a brown person. He's a brown person. I don't know if it's, Indian descent, like from India or Pakistan, but a definite brown person. And because Google has always had a reputation of being inclusive, diverse, and understanding of social issues, and they chose that path as their narrative. That has always been Google's narrative. Well, here's what happened. In their effort to be socially responsible and still be the woke tech company of the United States, they trained their Gemini to be more woke. Now, the thing is, see, those of us that's black and brown, we know what it's like to try to pull up some information on historical events and not see us in it, even though it's not true. Because that's typically how it's been in the United States. Our history is not portrayed correctly. And you know what? It's sad, but America, compared to other countries, we're the worst at trying to erase and change history. Other countries are not like that. They acknowledge where they did wrong. Okay, Germany is a great example. They acknowledge they did wrong. The Berlin Wall got torn down, and it's not a thing for them to mention it. But here in the United States, it's a whole different ball game. It's just common that history gets whitewashed, it gets erased, and it's not accurate. Now, back to Google's Gemini in its woke state. So people have said it's too woke because you can type into your chatbot, you can prompt it to give you a picture of a Viking warrior in the 1800s or that sort of thing. And Gemini is going to come back with a black person as a Viking, with an Asian person as a Viking, with a woman as a Viking. Now, this is what I find comical. Welcome to the world of being a black or brown person. This is what we have dealt with our entire life in this world. If you're a black or brown person and you breathe and you living, you know what I'm talking about. Even if you're using AI right now to this day, most of these chatbots are not trained to render visuals of black and brown people accurately. However, over the last few months, it's gotten better. And Sora is an example. I'm going to talk about Sora later on. But that's the thing. Welcome to our world. So look, y'all, don't go nowhere. I'm just getting started. This is hot information. You listening to Savage Talk with Keefa on 101 TKO Radio. We'll be right back after the break.
Right now, our country feels divided, but there's a place where but I'm glad we are.
What's up? What's up? What's up, y'all? Savage Talk is back. Yes. Yeah, during the break, I was just saying, hey, that Neo song, that's one of my favorite songs. Because, listen, when you are one in a million, when you are a woman, that's one in a million, the entire world will benefit from your energy. So don't ever, ever cheap yourself. Don't cheap yourself. Now, the other thing with Neo is this, too. He get with these beautiful women, make all these beautiful songs, and I'm all in love, and you one in a million. Then he cheat on them, and they get divorced. And now I'm waiting for the next cut. Let's go, Neo. Come with it. All right, so here we go. Before the break, I was talking about Google's Gemini and it being too woke for some people. That's the thing. Now, I started getting hyped because, listen, I said, welcome to our world. I remember, see, I'm old enough to remember going to school and teachers never teaching us nothing about our history. It was totally whitewashed. And not only that, because of that, we were made to believe that we couldn't do great things. We had to go to trade schools, learn how to be mechanics and woodworkers. And you know what? Back then we had home economics where we had to learn how to sew. We had typing classes where we had to learn how to type. Now, mind you, I'm so thankful for them typing classes because, see, this is how I keep up with the youngsters on the text. My own kids, they can't beat me in the texting game. My text be so quick. My typing be so quick. They say, Mom, how you learn how to do this? Well, children, back in the day, we used to have typing classes. And they used to give us speed typing tests. And yeah, you know, my speed was up there. I was proud because I had certificates. Because I could type up to almost like 90 words a minute. That meant something back then. But see, when I told my kids, okay, it ain't a thing. See, we actually had to invest time and effort into doing this. So when I hear a non-black or brown person say something is too woke, it's not a valid argument, in my opinion. It is no such thing as being too woke because the United States of America is a diverse country. We have so many different cultures that have contributed to our success and failures. Listen, I'm not saying black or brown people haven't contributed to the failures as well, but we have contributed to this great country's greatness. There's a reason why other countries are flocking. There's a reason why we have an immigration problem. These other countries don't want to come over here for no reason. They believe in the greatness of the United States. But see, they believe in the picture of the greatness. They don't know the reality of living here, being a black or brown person. So in my opinion, there's no such thing as being too woke. You have to acknowledge all the great things we did. And the CEO of Google, he's a brown person. And Google, if their intention is to maintain the status and the narrative of being the woke corporation, that's got to translate into all their products. So Gemini is one of the products, albeit it's on hold now because even woke Google has succumbed to the pressures. Oh, and y'all know right now, the pressure is high. The pressure's so high. Have y'all heard Donald Trump out on this campaign trail, the stuff he's saying? And the supporters of Donald Trump, the stuff they saying? We gonna get the black vote because black people love shoes, love tennis shoes. See, that's the narrative. And this is what we're up against. So right now, this is like, these are the reasons why Google, the woke company, has had to pull this product as being too woke. Now, I will say this. I'm going to call out everything that's historically inaccurate. Now, I'm not a historian, so let me say the history that I do know, if I know it's inaccurate, I'm going to call it out. Now, I don't know if it was or wasn't black men that was Vikings. I don't know if it was or wasn't Asian men that were Vikings. See, I don't know. Was there women that were Vikings? I don't know. But see, there's historians out there who are experts in Viking culture. Now, I know what I'm an expert in. I'm an expert in this here right now, what I've seen in my life. I'm not even an expert in African American history or African history. I'm not an expert. But I'm an expert in what I've seen in my own life. And my entire life, I can recall being one of very, very few, or the only, right? How many times have we said that? One in very, very few, or the only black or brown person in a particular class, in a particular setting or situation where we were made to be special because we were smart, we were this or that. But the reality is we all were special. We all could do those great things. So now, here we are in 2024, where we're talking about artificial intelligence being too woke. Meanwhile, on the flip side, 99% of the other chatbots are underwoke. They're not woke at all. They still sleep. They still struggle to give a good visualization and depiction of a black or brown figure, especially when it's in a historical context. So we have to be diligent about when we use these chatbots, LLMs, these language models, we have to be diligent about how we're prompting them, because we want them to be good stewards of what we're putting out into the world. We don't want to be the ones contributing to the inaccuracies, because we know what it feels like to be on the other side and not see accurate representations of ourselves. We know what that feels like, to be marginalized, to type something, a description of a strong black woman, African American woman who died. I've experimented with this. Y'all know I've been messing with AI since it first came out. And I remember specifically prompting different chatbots to attempt to create myself or representation of myself. And why I gotta look real crazy, okay? Because listen, I've seen the crazy renderings. And one of these days, if y'all ask me, I'll show you. I've seen the crazy renderings. So, yeah, I want to see all of this technology accurate. But here is my question. Does accurate mean historically accurate, or does accurate mean accurate to the world we live in today? Because the truth is, the world we live in today ain't accurate, but it's the reality. So do we want our artificial intelligence to mimic reality, or do we want it to mimic facts? Especially if used historically, like representing historical accuracy is important. So look, y'all, this is the front lines. We actually have an opportunity to take part in building how AI does the future. Okay, so you know how I say how you do your life? How AI does the future. So if you choose to take a back seat and you don't want to learn AI, like I say, the ostrich with the head in the sand, then not only are you doing a disservice to yourself, but you're doing a disservice to your culture, to the world. So the Google CEO, he succumbed. They succumbed to the pressure of being too woke. And so they pulled the technology for right now. Now, how y'all feel about that? Because what's crazy is, number one, how you gonna challenge somebody and say they too woke? Because basically, if you saying Gemini is too woke, you saying Google is too woke, you saying the CEO is too woke. That's really what you're saying. So here again, they are trying to marginalize us black and brown people by trying to knock out one of the chatbots that was for us. Okay, the chatbot was for us. Now it's gone. So here we are. We're still on the front line. This really is the Wild Wild West, y'all. Trust me when I tell you that. And what I mean when I say the Wild Wild West, I mean very little rules and regulation. I talked about on another show how the good technology is always lagging behind the bad technology. There's people in other countries already using artificial intelligence to scam you, to take your money, to scam corporations to take their money, which they then pass on those extra costs to us. I talked about that before. I did. So the good AI technology to stop the bad AI technology is always lagging behind. Always lagging behind. So we got to do our due diligence when we're using this. So when I say Wild Wild West, that's what I mean. It's very little regulations. If you know how to use AI, oh my God. If you have bad intentions for a person, a corporation, a company, whomever, you can do so much to harm their life, even just knowing a little bit of AI technology. That's why they're so quick to try to pass this law about deep fake. Why? Because somebody on the Biden campaign was hired to say don't go vote, or on the Trump campaign. I can't remember. It's coming back to me now. I do remember. So the deep fake robocall was calling people saying don't go vote. It had Joe Biden's voice. Yeah, so the Biden administration claimed they hired somebody. They had no idea how the recording was going to be used, how his voice was going to be used. They used it to create deep fake with Sleepy Joe calling people up saying, don't go vote because of this and because of that, because I'm falling asleep, but just don't go vote. The thing is, they are passing a bill for that. So this is what I mean. The harm is already done. So now here we come trying to pass a bill to prevent deep fake on social media. Well, Zuckerberg can't control that. He can try to control it, but Zuckerberg can't. And then guess what? If he puts a stop to it on Facebook, they're going to do it on Instagram. If Instagram stops it on, because it's all Zuckerberg, then they go into China's TikTok. That's where everybody's at anyway. You can find anything on TikTok. Anything you want. It's on TikTok. In fact, y'all, I'm telling y'all, this is deep. In fact, you can go to TikTok. You can use TikTok like a browser. You type in, how do I find XYZ? Y'all, I'm giving y'all a tip. See, you can do this on YouTube too. When you want to find out what's popular, instead of going to Google, you go to TikTok and YouTube. You want to find out about products that's popular? This is how you do it. See, these are back ways to do research so that you can get factual data that's not massaged by the corporations that have all the money to run ads. You know that, right? When you go to Google, the top listings is always going to be the people and the corporations with the money to buy all the Google ads and the advertising. And since it's tied in to third-party cookies right now, it's linked to Facebook, it's linked to Instagram. That's how it all follows you. So look, stay tuned. I'm just getting in it, y'all. Savage Talk with Keefa. We'll be right back after the break. Don't go nowhere. What's up? What's up? What's up, y'all? Savage Talk is back. I'm your host, Keefa. It's Tuesday, and we're talking about woke chatbots. Okay, we're talking about biased chatbots. It's the wild, wild west. But look, I want to address this question. Since AI models and data sets are often biased, which is a fact, do you think diverse data and algorithmic fairness could ever lead to true equality? Now, that's a great question. So I tapped into this a little bit. So really, no. And the reason why I say that is because people are human beings, which means by nature, we're going to be biased. And a lot of it is going to be in our blind spots. That is the whole reason the term woke came about, because when a group of people decide that they want to learn about other cultures, other races, and no longer have these blind spots, then they're called woke. But the reality is that's a small percentage of people, a very small percentage. And the human beings at large that are in the tech field, that are using these technologies, that are designing them, that are creating them, that have the money to take them to market, all of that stuff are biased. So I don't foresee a world ever that is totally equitable between all parties. Because think about it. I always say in life is collaborations, partnerships, relationships. That's all a collaboration is. That's all a partnership is. Now, think about every partnership, relationship you've been in your life. When has it ever been 50-50? Because that's what equal is, 50-50. What relationship is ever that? I can't think of one in my life where it's ever been equitable. Okay, so just for the sake of y'all understanding where I'm coming from, I know that there is a distinction between equality and equitable. I understand that. For the purposes of the show, I'm using equality, 50-50, as in equitable, okay? Now, for those of y'all who don't know the difference, equal doesn't mean equitable. Okay, that's the whole point behind affirmative action. Because black and brown people have been marginalized for so long through slavery and other means, we already come to the picture in a deficit. So to make us whole, to make us even and equal to non-black and brown people, we need an equitable portion. That doesn't mean an equal portion. For most black and brown people, we need a little bit more just to be able to compete on the same level. That is the purpose behind affirmative action. And that is the difference between equal and equitable. Okay? So I don't ever see a world where there is total equality, where every culture receives an equitable portion of the American dream, okay? For y'all that can't see me, I got my quote fingers up. The American dream. But what about your dream? What about the dream for your family? Is that the American dream? So what we're actually seeing represented with artificial intelligence is a reflection of all the biases in the world. Well, we see the biases within the United States, but these same biases are around the world. But since we're not in India, since we're not in Ghana, we're right here in DeKalb County, DeKalb. Okay, I don't know. How we say it in California is how it's written, DeKalb. I don't know where DeKalb. See, listen, take the L out and I'll start saying DeKalb. Okay, for right now, DeKalb. But anyway, that's another thing. So the world is not equitable. Human beings are still creating what we have in the world. I'm not talking about nature. I'm talking about technology. Human beings. See, we're not at a point yet where the technology is creating the technology the majority of the time. That's some Black Mirror stuff. When we get to the point where a human being creates some technology and then that technology starts reproducing itself without human input, then we got a problem. Then we have a problem, but we're not there. And I'm not one of those who's afraid that that's going to happen. It ain't going to happen. But here's the thing. Until human beings have the ability to not be prejudiced, not be racist, have a greater understanding for all cultures, have a greater not only understanding but valuation. When human beings get to a point where we can find value in every other human being that is equal to the value we find in ourselves, then it will never be equitable. And one of the problems of being human is that we are human. And that means, see, some humans are going to have more nurturing that better prepare them to have the self-love and a high valuation of their energy and presence and belonging in this world than others. If I don't value myself and I don't find value enough in myself that my value I am giving to the world, then I can't find value like that in someone else outside of me. And that's the human condition. So I hope that answered your question. Okay, but now, so we talked about Gemini. Let's talk about Sora. So Sora's answer, so Sora's like Gemini, but it's supposed to be a better version. It's OpenAI's version of text to visual, text to pictures. Okay? Remember when AI first came out like a year and a half ago and all we had was Midjourney, and you had to download Discord server and you had to jump through all these hoops to prompt it to generate you a picture. And even then, your picture really, especially if you wanted a black or brown person, was going to look crazy. Okay? And even if it wasn't a black or brown person, it might have, 12 toes. Just things that weren't supposed to be there. So Sora, OpenAI, the creators of ChatGPT. So they created Sora, okay? So Sora is supposed to be all the rage with accuracy. Now, it doesn't talk about how woke it's going to be. I am only talking about the accuracy. Okay, so it's supposed to be fairly accurate in its rendering of photos when you prompt it with enough details. Now, as far as it being woke, that remains to be seen. Who is actually priming Sora? But I tell you why I'm excited about doing this. I talked about this on my Insta post. And I've talked about this before on the show. If you are somebody who considers yourself an influencer as a 9-to-5 job, listen, AI is already replacing you. I did a show, I was talking about jobs that AI is already replacing influencers. I was talking about holograms. Yeah, displaying products using hologram technology. But with Sora, see, this is what I'm thinking. With Sora, if I'm a huge corporation and I want to get in front of an audience that I typically don't have access to, that's the reason why people use influencers. For example, travel. Let's take travel. There's people on Instagram that they're travel influencers. So they go to different countries. They get hotels comped, these luxurious rooms, so that they can show it to all their followers and get them to want to come to these places. They actually, sometimes they might be getting their flights comped. They're getting these influencer perks for highlighting and showcasing beautiful destinations around the world. Well, what happens when these hotels, these corporations by themselves, they don't need you to showcase the beauty of their destination? Here's what they can do. Since eventually deep fake is going to end up not being legal, okay? You will not be able to use somebody's likeness without paying them. But see, there's always a pattern. Okay, there's a pattern, an algorithm. There's an algorithm. So for the same reason, if you follow one travel influencer and they're going to suggest to you another post, they meaning Instagram, Facebook, are going to suggest another reel, and it's just another travel influencer. So you follow that one. Next thing you know, you're following a lot of travel influencers. Well, these corporations, they'll have the ability to run ads. They already have the data that shows who, if you're following this travel influencer, you're probably attracted to a certain person who looks this way. Okay, whoever that influencer is. Maybe they're a young person in their 20s, or maybe they're in their 50s, because this is a place in the Maldives, an expensive place. Just you can pick wherever. I'm just saying. It could be Dubai. But each of these travel destinations have a narrative. They have an ideal person who is going to travel there. AI, Sora, you can type this ideal client, the person who's going to travel. Then this is what you got to keep in mind. Create a figure that your ideal client is going to be attracted to. Okay, let me say that again. It's just like create an ad. Okay, you have to create something that your ideal client finds attractive. Not what you like, not what you think, what your ideal client finds attractive. And you can type and prompt Sora, right? 6-foot African-American man, well-traveled, with, 30% gray hair, mustache, does CrossFit, married, has kids, whatever your ideal client will find attractive. And let Sora generate your video. See, we're talking beyond images. You tell Sora the purpose of this video with this guy you just described is to attract people to travel to Timbuktu, or, attract people between the ages of XYZ with incomes of XYZ to travel to Timbuktu. You lay out your narrative and let Sora create the video. Now, see, you're not going to need influencers. So influencers, you're going to be replaced, because they will be able to do this. And the thing is, like with all ads, you have to run multiple ads to get enough data to determine which ads work the best. Which ones are they really relating to? Okay, so like when I run Facebook ads, I'm going to do an ad with video. I'm going to do an ad with just a picture. I'm going to do an ad with short text, long text. I'll do another ad with a different type of video, with a talking head video, the blah, blah, blah. You have to test. Now, here's the difference. It gets expensive if you're testing with different influencers and you have to pay actual people. You got to pay actual people to do this and do that. That gets expensive. And these corporations, when they realize, if they haven't already, that they won't have to do that, they can get all this data, use Sora to create a video, and then create another video. Let's say I create 5 videos for the same destination spot. I could own a boutique hotel. You guys know I have Airbnbs in Tulum. Yeah, so I can use myself as a perfect example. I'm going to use Sora. I'm going to create multiple videos for each location, and I'm going to have it create a different influencer in the video that represents the people who are going to rent my units, who are going to go on my retreats, who are going to find beneficial, who want to be in Tulum. I can use Sora to create those videos. So I don't have to pay influencers. Okay? I don't have to pay influencers to do these videos for me, to showcase my product. So if you are an influencer and that is your job as like a 9 to 5, you better start getting your stuff together, because you about to lose your job. Sing it with me. You about to lose your job. Let's go. So look, you're listening to Savage Talk with Keefa on 101 TKO Radio. Don't go nowhere. We coming right back after the break. What's up, what's up, what's up, y'all? Keefa's back. Savage Coach Keefa, Coach Keefa, Savage Keefa. You can call me what you want, but look, I'm going to drop these facts, and I'm going to drop the knowledge. I hope y'all been taking notes, because I love to weave in some knowledge on marketing. So during the break, I was saying, Sora, we're talking about creating all these videos. Marketing is a science and an art. And what Sora, if it actually does all that it's promised to do, will be the best collaboration of the art and science, bringing that technology together to create wonderful videos from text input. Now, why is that important, and why am I relating it to marketing? Because I'm always talking business, okay? And if you have a product or service, you're a business. You have a business. Even if you haven't sold anything, it might be a bad business. It might be an illegal business, but it's a business. And if you want to make money in your business, you have to do some sort of marketing. You really do. I'm going to say with every business now, remember back in the days, there was a slogan that went, you build it and they will come. Do y'all remember that? See, there was a time when CrossFit was like that. If you opened up a CrossFit gym, folks was coming as soon as they heard you was open. But what happens? There's more competition. This is how capitalism works. The idea of more competition is good because that means pricing is going to be better. The more options people have, the more prices will be normalized. If not, it's called inflation. Right? You guys learned that in basic economics. Now, I talk about these AI tools because when you're a small business, you need automation in order to be able to even compete with the big dogs. You have to apply some kind of artificial intelligence just to be able to compete, especially if you actually have a life outside of your business, like children and hobbies. You have to. You got to automate some things. And when it comes to making videos, I'm going to tell you, as a small business owner, one of the most time-consuming things is making videos, putting them together, doing all of that. So you already know, I can't wait for Sora to really, really be released so I could take a test drive. And as I said, I love being an early adopter, so I should be one of the first ones to get the rollout. You know I love that. Let me be first, y'all. Let me be first. I don't mind the hiccups in being first. I'm already trained to know there's going to be hiccups. It is okay because guess what? I get to test drive. It's like a new car that comes out. You go to the dealership and they give me the car. Now the car might have some dents on it. The interior might be a little bit torn, but all the technology, everything under the hood is what we're concerned about. Yeah, I'm going to take it. I'm going to take it because that's what I'm concerned about. That's what I want to learn. I don't care that the seat's torn. I don't care that it's got some dents because y'all been test driving it too. Let me get in it. Let me get in it. I want to be first. So I'm hoping to get this and be able to test drive it and come back and report my results. Because I'm sure, as I said, if you're a small business, you already know creating content, okay, videos is a form of content. So videos, podcasts, Instagram posts, trying to be everywhere can be difficult. But I tell you what, one of the biggest mistakes small business owners make is trying to be everywhere. See, you really only need to be where your ideal client is. That's why I don't post on TikTok. That's why I post very little on Instagram. So the thing is, trying to be everywhere all the time is not great for your business. You need to be the place where your ideal clients are. How do you know where they are? Well, one of the ways, and I was talking about this during the break, one of the ways is running ads. Now, I talk about running ads. I know all businesses can't afford to run ads, but the reason why I talk about it is because it's the fastest way to find out where your ideal client is and what they want to buy from you. Because, yeah, you can post organically, and it might take you a long time, because even folks with lots and lots of Instagram followers ain't selling nothing. Now, yeah, a lot of the followers are bots and they're fake. But mostly, if they're not bots or they're not fake followers, they're not your ideal client. And that is why there's so many people on social media who have tons and tons of followers, tens of thousands, and they struggle to sell one thing. That's one of the reasons. So you need to be where your ideal client is. But when you can run ads, that's the fastest way to get your product or service in front of a whole lot of people all over the place and collect the data to see where your people actually are. That's the art and the science. And I love art. Okay, I'm left-handed. So I love art, I love music, I love all of that. I also love science. And Sora is promising to put those things together. Because think about it. Typing words to describe something you want to see visually. That's every person who can't draw or who's not an artist. That's our dream. I'm not a drawer. My daughter is. My daughter, she can draw anime. She can draw it to scale. Have it so creative, the eyes will be the right size. They have special superpowers and all kind of stuff. My daughter can draw that without tracing. Now, a lot of artists are going to say, yeah, but you can use Sora and you can type your text into your chat and get the rendering of your video, of your picture. That ain't real art. Well, I don't give no good guy, you know what. You can call my art fake as you want. But look, if I'm selling my products and my services on my videos, you can call it what you want. I don't care what you call it. I only care what it's doing. So artists are going to say, well, that's cheapening art. No, it's not. Because if you're an artist, keep doing what you're doing, boo. I ain't stopping you from drawing. I'm still going to support you because I love art. And if you ever been to my house, you know I collect African masks. I collect paintings. I love art. So if you're an artist and you're still painting, right? You're still painting on canvas and it's African art, I'm your ideal client. How you gonna get to me? Instead of talking about AI is taking away real art and real craftsmanship. These are just things I heard. You need to be using Sora to create your marketing videos to get people like me to see what you're actually painting and selling. You see the distinction? So there's always going to be a place for artists. Same thing with music. Yes, we know AI can create a beat. AI can create a rap. AI can create a bridge and put it all together and make some dope music. If you think it can't do that, well, actually, y'all know. Because even if you feel like that Drake song, was it Drake in the Weekend? The first song that really came out with AI. Well, it wasn't the first. It was the first with famous people. But there was a whole AI avatar that came out with a rap first. But then Drake and maybe The Weeknd. Don't quote me on that. But it was deep fake with Drake's. You remember that? Yeah. Okay, Kendrick Lamar. Thank you. I was way off. But you know what I'm saying. So the point is, we already know AI can create music. But that does not mean if you are a music artist or a musician, it doesn't mean it's not a need for you. Because there are people like me who will always appreciate live music, live bands, and who will pay money to see them. So this is, let me tell you, instead of being afraid of AI, you got to figure out how to use AI to up level what you're already doing. See, that's going to make the difference between the people out of jobs. Remember I talked about jobs that AI is replacing, and the people who really thrive using AI. One of my favorite photographers, he's killing it using AI. He incorporated it into his photography business right here in Atlanta. This is how you have to do it. And eventually, y'all, just like everything, eventually the peak is going to mellow out. I can already tell you, people are going to get technology overload. They're not going to want to keep learning new tools. And they're going to settle for what they already know. And if you're the person who knows more, you're going to be the one who gets the job. That's just how it is. You're going to be the one who sells more of your products, who sells more of your services. I just gave y'all some real factual examples. See, even with artificial intelligence, you guys got to get the main thing I'm telling you is that even with AI, you got to know who your ideal client is. You got to know how to go out and find them. And you got to know how to incorporate AI into your business to enhance what you're already doing. If you're not looking at it like that, you're looking at it all wrong. I'm just saying, you're looking at it all wrong. If you have a business. Now, if you don't ever plan on selling nothing, if you don't ever plan on teaching anything, if you don't ever plan on making products, just doing any of that stuff, then you ain't got to worry about it. Because the reality is, that's just not your arena. But if you know in your future is business, is products, if you know all of that, then I'm telling you, y'all, you got to get on the train that's moving. Artificial intelligence, it is the train that is moving. Do y'all hear me? It's the train that is moving. So, Sora, that's spelled S-O-R-A or Ara. Ara-A. Okay? I'm in DeKalb, aka DeKalb. I told you, y'all take the L out, I'm gonna start saying DeKalb. But as long as it's a L, we are in these United States of America. And you tell me what word. I would like for somebody to tell me any other word with an L in it that's silent. Tell me, please. That goes against the English language. And I'm talking about an English word. Don't come with no Spanish words or no German words or no French words. I'm talking about Americana. American words where the L is silent. So when you hear it come out of my mouth when I say DeKalb, DeKalb County. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Okay, so listen, you guys. Sora. Sora. By OpenAI, the same people who came out. Same people who came out with Chat GPT. Chat GPT. So stay tuned for that. And like I said, I want to be the first to report on it. That's if they give it to me first, in the group of first. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But you got to ask. You got to ask. So we have a couple minutes left on the show, y'all. And I hope y'all took notes. I hope you took notes because I dropped some gems. If you got a business, you got a product or a service that you sell, I dropped some gems for y'all. This is a quick recap of what I can remember. Y'all, sometimes I have so much knowledge in my head that I want to get out, and it's not enough time. It's not enough time to get it out, and I'll tell y'all something, and then I'll forget what I just told y'all. But look, I told you could do research on your products and services right on TikTok. You don't have to use Google. Use YouTube and TikTok as your browser when you're researching products and services. Take a note so when Sora comes out, you can be an early adapter and start using text to video. Text to video. So you can cut down on your content creation time. If you're an influencer, start learning artificial intelligence because your job as an influencer is going to go by the wayside. And if that's how you make your money, you need to figure out another way to make money. Okay? Those are some of the things. I also talked about the 420 bust, the biggest in the state of Georgia, figuring out who's Kaiser Soze. Stay tuned. Make a note of that. Because it only is just starting. They got the warehouse. They got the 420. They got the value of it. They got the Chinese nationals who they saying were running the operation. But I don't think they're the Kaiser Soze. Okay? And if you don't remember Kaiser Soze, go back and review the movie Usual Suspects. Usual Suspects. This one, Kevin Spacey, before all of the arrests and all of that crazy stuff. You know, he's a great actor, but he got canceled. He got canceled for touching boys or something. It was something like that. Don't quote me on that, but it was something in that whole movement. Kevin Spacey, pretending like he had a whole limp and all kind of stuff, threw everybody off. It's a great movie. It is a great movie. One of the reasons why it's a great movie, not just all the great acting and the actors who were in it, but it was great because you never know who's actually running the operation. Who's running the operation? So it's Tuesday. You've been spending time with Savage Coach Keefa, listening to Savage Talk on 101 TKO Radio, streaming live on YouTube, on Facebook, on the 101 TKO Radio app, where we've been knocking it out the box always and always. I hope I did not disappoint you. Thank you so much for taking the time to give me your listening ear, to keep me company on this Taco Tuesday. I am on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. You can catch me on Instagram at Keefa Ray. Yes, at Keefa Ray, R-A-E. Until Thursday, y'all have a great night, and I'll see you on Thursday. I'm out.